Good evening. My name is Stephen Hampson, and I would like to talk to you about something that is near and dear to my heart. On January 20th, President Trump issued an executive order known as the Realigning the United States Refugee Admissions Program, suspending the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program indefinitely. The USARPO is a program that facilitates the identification and admittance of refugees in the United States. Effectively, because of that executive order, the U.S. government ceased accepting new refugee applications, and all open cases were paused. Now, currently, due to lawsuits filed by major foreign aid profits, the U.S. government now has to process applications and allow travel for refugees who fulfill certain conditions that we won't go into here, but the bottom line is the vast majority of individuals and families fleeing violence and poverty from their native country and are asking our country for help are effectively being turned away. This includes people from Afghanistan who have fled the tyranny and oppression of the Taliban regime, El Salvadorians fleeing the extreme violence and rapid expansion of criminal organization in the country, and human trafficking, Guatemalans looking for a new life due to displacement from recent national disasters, as well as political and economic uncertainty in their country, and Venezuelans fleeing from state atrocities perpetuated by their government, including sexual violence, forced disappearances, torture, and political detainment. I have even mentioned other groups like Ukrainians attempting to start a new life after being displaced by the current war of Russia. So, having defined the problem, what can each of us do? You can, for one, involve yourself in nonprofit organizations that are actively supporting refugees abroad. For example, the hashtag Afghan EVAC is a nonprofit organization helping to relocate and resettle what they refer to as Afghan allies, or those individuals who help support the U.S. mission to Afghanistan. This organization supports the Enduring Welcome Act, a bill that creates a permanent office in the State Department that will help in the relocation of Afghan allies, among other purposes. On their website, they have templates for letters you can write to your congressional representatives asking them to support the Enduring Welcome Act and to support local Afghans in their community. You can donate to smaller local groups in your area like Ukrainians OC or larger groups like the UNHCR. Another thing you can do is if you know anyone who is either a refugee currently in the United States or currently seeking refugee status from abroad, get their story, one, post it on a social media platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, for the public to see. And two, send these stories to your local congressman. This is especially important for those residing in swing states such as North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, and others. If it's someone with refugee status currently in the U.S., ask them to tell their story of how they got here, and how their current refugee status is affected by the current administration's policies. If it's someone seeking refugee status from abroad, ask them to tell their story, how their lives have been affected since the executive order on January 20th. The more everyone knows these stories and how they've been affected by the Realigning the United States Refugee Admissions Program, the more voter sentiment can shift during the upcoming midterms election, and the greater chance we have of putting elected officials in power who can restore the operations of the USARPO and give people a chance at a better life in our great country. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good day.